All right, now that we have um, taken care of our one-step equations, now we're ready to jump to two-step equations. So it's the next page in your note packet. So we've already done the one step. Now we're going to focus on the two-step equations. So the top of the page says solving two-step equations, and then it has a 1, 2, and 3. So basically we're going to take all the things we just learned from one-step equations and apply it to two-step equations. All right, so look for this part right up top to show you're on the right page. And then I want you to pause and fill in these 3 steps. These are the 3 steps we're going to use as we are solving our two-step equations. All right, so like in the little video clip you watched yesterday, he talked about when you're solving the equation, you're doing order of operations in reverse. Or I always think of it like Christmas. So mom or dad may buy you a gift. They put the gift into a box and then they wrap it with wrapping paper. When you go to open the gift, you do it in the opposite order. You take off the wrapping paper and then you open up the box. So by solving it, by undoing it, we do everything in reverse. So our first step is going to be to take care of any addition or subtraction. Then we come back and do the multiplication or division second. We do it in layers. So I should see 2 separate lines of work as you work your way through these. All right, so we start with the first one. 2x plus 3 is equal to 11. So again, focus on the addition first. So they added 3, so I want to subtract 3, but I have to do it from both sides. So I should see a minus 3 on either side of that line. Adding 3 and subtracting 3 cancel each other out, but I'm still left with 2x. That comes down to that next row. On the right, 11 minus 3 is 8. Now I come back and take care of the multiplying and dividing. So again, focus on your variable. 2x means 2 times x. So I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to divide by 2, but I got to treat both sides of my equation equally. 2 divided by 2 cancels out, and I'm left with x. 8 divided by 2 is 4. To do your check, and these are going to be even more important to do your check, you're taking your original equation, but in place of the variable, you're going to put in your answer. So instead of 2 times x, I'm going to do 2 times 4. 2 times 4 is 8. 8 plus 3 really is 11. So I know I did it correctly. All right, next one. W over 3, so W divided by 3 minus 7 is equal to 13. So again, focus on the addition or subtraction first. In this case, they're subtracting 7. So I'm going to add 7. I'm going to do the opposite, but I've got to treat both sides equally. Minus 7 and adding 7 cancel each other out, but I'm still left with W divided by 3. 13 plus 7 is 20. Okay? You've got to do each of these as its own step. You can't just combine all your work in one row. Next one, W divided by 3. So the opposite of dividing is to multiply. So I'm going to multiply by 3. Multiplying by 3 and dividing by 3 cancel each other out. So I'm left with W. 20 times 3 is 60. Now, to do my check, I'm going to plug in 60 in place of W. So 60 divided by 3 minus 7. 60 divided by 3 is 20. 20 minus 7 is 13. That's what I wanted. So I know I did it correctly. So I'm just using my skills, but I'm kind of doing it one step at a time. All right, these next two, same idea, but now we have to watch out for our negatives. Okay. Again, draw that line down through your equal sign. Focus on the side with your variable. So I'm going to focus on the right-hand side this time. And again, start with the adding or subtracting. In this case, I was adding 6. So I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to subtract 6. Adding 6 and subtracting 6 cancel each other out, but I still have m divided by negative 5. In a two-step equation, you don't just get the variable all by itself after step 1. It takes 2 steps to get there. On the other side, remember, a negative and a subtraction do not get along well. So whenever you see a negative up top, change the subtraction into adding the opposite. You're far less likely to make a calculation mistake. Negative 15 divided by negative, or plus negative 6 is negative 21. Now I take step 2. Again, focus on your variable. What did they do to m? Well, they divided by negative 5. So I'm going to multiply times negative 5. I'm going to do the same thing on both sides. Multiplying and dividing by negative 5 cancel each other out, and I'm left with m. Negative 5 times negative 21. Well, a negative times a negative is a positive. 5 times 21 is a 105. Do my check. So instead of m, I'm going to put in 105 divided by negative 5 plus 6. 105 divided by negative 5 is negative 21. Negative 21 plus 6 is negative 15. Just what I wanted, so I know I did it correctly. All right, last one. Draw my line down through my equal sign. Focus on the side with the variable, so negative 4x minus 8. Remember, take care of the adding and subtracting first. Remember, we're doing order of operations in reverse. Normally, adding and subtracting goes last, but when we're solving it, we're going to do it first. Here, they're subtracting 8, so I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to add 8, but I'm going to do the same thing to both sides. Subtracting 8 and adding 8 turn to 0. They cancel each other out, but I'm still left with that negative 4x. Negative 12 plus 8 is negative 4. Now it's time for step 2. Negative 4x means negative 4 times x. So I'm going to do the opposite and divide by negative 4. Make sure you're dividing by negative 4, not positive 4. We want to divide by the same thing they multiplied by. Negative 4 divided by negative 4 is just 1, or just x. Negative 4 divided by negative 4 is 1. Plug it back in to check your solution. And yes, you have to check every single time. So negative 4 times 1 minus 8. 4 times 1 minus 8. Negative 4 times 1 is negative 4 minus 8. Well, that's really the same thing as adding a negative 8. Negative 4 plus negative 8 really is negative 12. So I know I did it correctly. That's how we solve two-step equations.